broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers, and welcome to another after show. Welcome back to the after show for Manzo'd With Children. I'm your host, Grant Rutter, and my lovely co-host is here to join me.
Hey guys, it's Megan Stecher, and we're back.
We're back.
In the new studio.
New studio. If you are listening to us on iTunes, take a second and check us out on YouTube and check out the space. A lot of people have put a lot of long hours into creating this new space, and it looks great, and it's so definitely something to check out. So do that. Let's talk about our favorite New Jersey family tonight. Yeah. We saw a lot of them, and we saw a lot of Vito, and apparently they saw even more of him. So let's talk about Vito's family. We've been introduced to them on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, but now we got a real dose of the mother, especially. What did you think of the mother?
Denise is a lot. Denise is too much for me. I could not marry Denise's son. If there were a man I were in love with and his mother were just like Denise, I couldn't do it. Yeah. She's so over the top. I mean, the dog in the stroller. And hello, I'm going to gift you. What do you call an apparatus that folds shirts like that perfectly?
I don't know, but I actually liked that. Folder. I liked that folder because I'm a perfectionist with my clothes, and I do like to know, especially when you're traveling. Yeah, that's great. Mm-hmm. But I mean, it's a little much to expect. That's like her job. That's now Lauren's job. For every shirt. And
the fact that she's allowing her son to have bossed her around his whole life. Mom, I demand you do my shirts like this. And her saying he'll demand the 2 different types of milk. 2% for when he's eating, peanut butter and jelly, but whole milk for when he wants cookies or whatever it was. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, he's an Italian mama's boy, I guess. Just an Italian kid. And even Caroline said they're like Brooklyn 1950s Italian. Like,
I love that part.
I love that. Yeah. So this kid is used to a very specific lifestyle. Yeah. But you're gonna have to play with those expectations if you're gonna get married and go out on your own. Mm-hmm. So that was, of course, the theme of this episode is what they're gonna do with their merging of families and going on their own at some point. And, we'll get into it. But, yeah, this Denise, interesting character. She reminds me of a lot of people from home. I like the accent. Like, she's real, And I like that she seemed to be pretty comfortable around the cameras, too. She wasn't, putting on a show. So I like her.
I'm from a more bland suburb. I had a lot of Italian and Irish friends growing up that were all Catholic. But no one this extreme close to me in my life. But I did go... I feel like I've met, definitely as in adulthood, people that are this very much old school Italian. Yeah. So I always view them as such a character, and to know that this is legitimately how she thinks and wants her son taken care of, I'm a little nervous for Lauren.
Yeah, a little bit. I like that she wanted the corsage, and Caroline was like, I don't need it. What do you need it for? And she's like, no, I need it. I want the corsage. That's like a necessity to her.
I mean, it was 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. Caroline doesn't want to be caught dead in a corsage, and Denise will die without having one. So
pretty much. That's very old school. So I kind of like it. I think it's funny that those people really are out there, and I like that. That's it was Jersey Shore, but of course, Housewives of New Jersey is kind of the only real way we get to see that lifestyle, and those are people that I kind of relate to, like the Housewives of New Jersey are the one that I've said this before. It's like the one that's the closest to how I grew up, and I know some of these ladies, not personally, but I know the type. So I connect.
I don't mean to offend anyone, but it was reminding me of Goodfellas when she was about to marry Ray Liotta, and she was like, all the women came in and this is how you do it, and I don't know who they were, but they're all the same, and it just reminded me of that, the really old school Italian. It reminded me of that scene in the movie.
Broomsticks.
Oh, yeah. I don't know about Vito.
That's a quote from Goodfellas.
Okay. I was like, I missed half of it. Sorry, I was talking over you.
Yeah, and me. I'm just faking it because I've never seen the movie.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Grant!
I know. I'm a lousy Italian. I know. and a lot.
That's your homework for tonight.
Yeah, of tonight. Oh, Lord. How long is that? Was that a long one?
It is a long one.
Okay, well, it's going to be a long
All right,
night.
save it for tomorrow.
All right.
Tomorrow night.
Well, let's talk about a trip to the library. Really. But really, Chris and Caroline went to the library and did a little research. Kind of cute. What did you think?
I gotta say, I learned something new. I didn't know that it's not okay to hang out in the children's section of the library without a child of your own. But I'm very glad to see that they take that kind of thing seriously in this day and age when there's a lot of scary folks out there.
True.
But, I mean, obviously that was very produced. But I thought it was hilarious. Hilarious.
Those library people, they can be difficult. I'm not surprised.
They're so proper.
Yes, and the way she they kept cutting to this woman walking around,
circling and circling.
She wasn't really too happy with him. She almost couldn't believe
that
he was in the space. Yeah, the library people, they take that very seriously.
Yeah. Well, here's what I can't believe. Why is Chris writing a children's book? Where is this coming from?
That's true. We didn't really get a real reason or a motivation or why he feels he has to do this, why the direction is going in this way.
Yeah, I think just something thrown in there by producers, unfortunately, that didn't really mesh into the storyline too well.
I like that he said, I'm going to go and study all these books and find a common theme and then do the opposite or go in a different direction. So he's taking it seriously. He's not just trying to rip anything off,
Yeah.
So good for him. Yeah. And so we now know what the Franklin Lakes Library looks like.
Yes. Over there
in case you were wondering.
Wayne Public Library.
Wayne, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, I felt so bad for him when he finally drew up his first draft and he wanted to share it with Caroline and Albie. And Albie kept interrupting him, thought the main character was a dog and not a boy. I thought it was kind of a mess.
Yeah. I like the little snippet we had with the kids.
Yes, the focus group. That was adorable.
Yeah, that was cute. All right, well, let's move on to Lauren is now having to see a different side of Vito, or all the sides of him, because he's showing out. Yeah, he's there. He's wearing her robe. And even Albie was like, yeah, they know Vito, but they don't know Vito's Scalia roommate.
Yeah.
So we got a taste of him when he was, going through the house. Very produced segment, in my opinion. Wearing the robe, drinking out of the carton, and
putting garbage. He had ate food. I guess it was a strawberry, and he should have discarded the end of it, and he threw it back in the refrigerator. And Caroline's sitting there, did he just put that back in my fridge?
I like that he kept saying, I can't be me. That must have been...
can I be me?
Can I be me? Can I be me? Yeah.
That is my favorite. Can I be me?
That must have been some goof that they had off camera, that's what we're gonna play up. It seems like that's kind of an inside joke with friends too.
Yeah.
Maybe that was just how it was with Albie, whatever. So so we saw all this. I thought it was really kind of lousy behavior. Caroline even related it to being a dog. So that's dog behavior. I don't know. To me, that's such a turnoff, especially in front of Lauren, and that's who she's going to be spending the rest of her life with. I mean, that is just almost a deal breaker for me to have someone be that comfortable in that. He even says all right, I won't do that in the house, but when we get our own, that's how it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'd be oh, but no, it isn't. This is not working. I'm a very clean, neat freak person. I don't like anybody moving things around or having to wonder what's this, you're drinking out of this glass, or glass, that'd be even a better thing. But I don't know. I couldn't live that lifestyle. No.
As someone in a long-term relationship who's lived with the person for years, Vito's an idiot. He just needs to wait to display this bad behavior until after he's married. Then it's too late. Then, then fight about it then. Not right before your wedding, idiot, in front of your future mother-in-law.
Do you put up with this at home?
I'm going to say yes and no. There are times when I just lose it and say in a not very nice way that you need to do, put this away in the bathroom, wipe down the sink when you make a mess shaving. You need to put the dishes in the dishwasher. This kitchen, you just made a mess cooking. I'm so glad you cooked. You got to wipe the stove down. Things like that. There are days when I try to be nice and there are days when I try to say nothing. Mm-hmm. It's a balance.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that I've heard a lot of women say you can train him. Caroline said he's a nice boy. He can be trained. And no. I had this great Italian secretary I worked with back in Philly who she said to me, you can train him about my boyfriend. And I thought, is this what women talk about to each other? Like training a man? I love him. I don't want to talk about training him like a dog.
I don't think it's possible. If
he hasn't done it after all this time, I don't think I'm training him to do anything.
No, if you're 20-something, you're set in your ways for the most part with things. Mm-hmm. And I say this from experience just with having roommates. I have tried to do subliminally, or leave something to be done, made hints. Hints do not work. These people are going to be what I view as being dirty or needing attention, they don't see that way. And it seems like Vito kind of has a similar mindset. Like he doesn't see the urgency behind things or the concern or the gross factor of drinking out of a communal thing of milk.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's what goes on with my boyfriend and I at home is that we are two completely different people and see a mess in two completely different ways. Yeah. He doesn't see it at all. It's all I can think about.
Yeah. No, and I've had the same situation with roommates, and that's why I am almost done. As soon as I can. Let's see what happens with that. But yeah, no, I mean, whatever. I'm always giving way too much personal information on this panel.
I know.
But yeah, you know what? It's just I don't know. Especially this Vito should not be doing this with a whole family. Yeah. It's like a respect thing, not even just for Lauren, but come on, Caroline's dad is there too, and not Caroline's dad, Lauren's dad and Caroline are there. Okay. But just the fact that it's come on, these are people, and I don't care how comfortable you are around them, just don't do that in someone's house.
That was gross. Well, so they do resolve it. Caroline does say, Vito, let's talk about this. We don't do those things in this house, and it's not okay that we almost saw your thing coming out of your robe there. And that everything can be a compromise. I like that part, that she's like, okay, you feel like if you absolutely need to drink out of a carton, you put this sticker on it, everybody knows it's yours, and you can drink out of that carton. That's a great compromise, honestly.
Yeah, I like that. She had the stickers ready. She just brought them out. Such a mom moment.
No, because I died laughing because my mom used to have these orange stickers she would buy, these orange circle stickers. When she would buy multiples of things at the store because they were on sale if you bought multiples, she would put the orange stickers on the ones you weren't supposed to eat yet.
Oh, really?
It's one of these gets opened, none of these other ones get opened until this one's gone.
I like such a mom
the
thing.
Orange sticker roll in the house.
Yeah, well, that's cute. I like it. Let's talk about the dinner that the two families converged at. Talked about the almonds that need to be at the tables. I wasn't familiar with this tradition.
Please explain me. You don't know this.
No, I wish Fern was here. And
okay.
Fern, giving you, we're tipping her hat too. Fern is away at a wedding.
Yeah, she is.
So,
yay. I wonder if they were almonds. We'll have to ask her.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So Fern will be back, of course, with next week. But yeah, I want to know that tradition because I didn't know about that.
So I've been to a lot of weddings where there are, I think they call them Jordan almonds. So it's an almond coated in this really yummy syrupy coating that's usually pastel. You can get them in the white or pastel colors, and they're in a cute little tulle or something, that craft store mesh, and it's in a little bow, and you get to the table, and sometimes it's a favor, sometimes I guess it's just there to eat while you're waiting. Caroline explained what it's something about longevity of life and
good fortune and things like that.
But I've never had it explained to me or knew that that's why you have those at weddings. I thought that was just the go-to, the basic level, oh yeah, you throw the almonds on the table, it's a favor, whatever. I don't know.
Right. You're just there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the comment came about being the vessel. Now, I haven't been on the receiving end of anything like this. I probably never will be. Oh. But what do you think? Have you ever been in a similar position where someone viewed you that way?
Well, I have a lot of uncomfortable conversations with my boyfriends because we are living a non-typical we're living together long term, but we're not engaged, or we haven't talked. There's no ring on the finger. So my family is totally cool with my situation. On the other hand, the boyfriend's family, we get a lot of uncomfortable questions from them and talks. And because to me, in this day and age, it's nobody's business how you're living your life. If you're happy and you're healthy and you're pursuing what you want to pursue,
not hurting anybody.
Yeah, and I understand that your family wants certain things for you, but the way that we've been asked certain things, it's to me rude. And so I felt terrible for Lauren in that situation, because I think that saying things like that was okay 100 years ago, or like this is a very Italian thing to talk about or say, in her day when she was about to get married. But in this day and age, it's not really PC to say those kinds of things to people. And I'm sure Lauren is like, God, I'm a businesswoman. I'm doing exactly what I've always wanted to do. And I love my makeup store and doing people's makeup. And for someone, my mother-in-law, who I want to love as a motherly figure, to say, all I see you as is a vessel. It's not even like, I'm so happy you're joining our family because you're going to be bringing me a grandchild someday.
Yeah.
It's not even that. She's like, you're a vessel. That's what I see you as. Like, oh, could you have said it any more rudely?
Yeah. Did you think it was a joke and jest, or was it just like, were they serious, or was it a mix of both?
I think a mix of both. I really do.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think there's like a shade of truth to it, but the delivery perhaps wasn't more in jest.
Well, I thought it was funny that they're like, well, we're not going to have kids for 3 years because they want to travel. And then Al jumps in, only place you're traveling is from home to Monroe, New York. So apparently that's where the deli is.
Right.
So I looked it up today. This horrible ride they had to take to the restaurant to meet the family, and this terrible commute that Vito has every day.
Lay it on me. Yeah, what could it be?
It's only 26 to 30 miles, depending on your route.
Okay.
It's on a highway the whole time. I-87 North or 187 North or something. I-87 North. Does that sound familiar?
No,
okay.
It doesn't.
It was a 32-minute drive when I checked today.
Well, yeah.
Really? That's what they're complaining about? I'm sorry, we live in LA.
Yeah,
and
luck.
32 minutes to go anywhere is like, oh, I just went 2 miles down the street to the grocery.
Oh, easily. Yeah, I worked 8 miles away from my last job, and one of them any. And that was like, I was sometimes an hour and a half, an hour 40 minutes in traffic, and it was 8 miles. So yeah, and that was no freeway. That was just lights. So
let's be honest, he's not sitting in front of the Lincoln Tunnel trying to get into the city. Relax. Yeah. Anyhow, sorry
about it, Vito.
People in the suburbs slay me with their commuting.
Yeah, we don't want to hear it out here. We do not care. We don't want to hear it. So let's move on to the second episode, Brothers of the Bride. And I liked this one perhaps a little bit more. It was a little bit more lighthearted and we got to see. Yeah, we got to see a few people, a few more people than we did in the last episode. So Chris starts off the show by saying that, he wants to be the one that plans the bachelorette party. They're very tight. I've never heard of a brother wanting to plan his sister's bachelorette.
I know. Well, here's another thing, is that I was not convinced by any of this, that this wasn't produced. But I thought it was a super fun idea. The thing that was the dead giveaway to me was when Lauren's bedroom lights were on super bright when they wanted to take her to her bachelorette or snatchler party. I know I'm jumping way ahead. It's just, it kind of didn't, it didn't all go super chronologically to me, because in the very beginning they're like, she'd have so much more fun with us, and it's like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen.
Yeah, people, to be able to get the Tropicana Hotel, and to be able to reserve a suite, and to be able to get those permits, and to be able to get all the clearances necessary, that takes a lot of pre-production versus, how we're led to believe that it's like, a night before a plan, and we're going to go, and, we're just going to show up, and it's going to be like spur of the moment. It's like, it's like, just not real.
It looked to me like her eyes were even open when they opened the door to come in and wake her up.
Yeah.
So it kind of ruined it for me. But it was a cute idea, and I think Snatchler Party he should try to trademark that term, because it sounds super fun. Or super gross. I don't know. Rosie got a kick out of it.
Yeah. let's talk about the first party. I want to talk
Yes.
about how Caroline was along for the ride. Now, this was very strange to me.
Yeah.
Now, I believe that Caroline, she bows to her daughter. She loves her. I'm sure if the show was like, Caroline, we want you on this, she would still check with Lauren. And Lauren must have genuinely wanted her to join because she was there. If she didn't, Caroline wouldn't have crossed, and been bothered to go.
Yeah.
So I think she really wanted to be part of it, but I just thought she was it just, by having her mother there, or even perhaps an older woman, it just is a different element.
It is, because they were sitting next to each other the entire ride there, sitting next to each other the entire time they were out at the bar. First of all, I felt like this was kind of a lame bachelorette party. Like, if I hope that she had a
I hate to
real,
be mean,
I
but-
know, I hope she had a real off-camera one.
I was going to say the same thing. I hope this was just like for...
Like, they couldn't even go to a second location to get some more footage. That one bar with the
know.
bright lights and the bingo, it was too much.
I know everyone knows every good night is at least two venues, right?
At
least.
Bachelorette, first of all, the bachelorette party should last till dawn. I've been to some epic ones.
I bet.
Let me tell you, I went to a bachelorette party that ended with all of us. The bride-to-be had everyone's underwear in a Ziploc bag because we all went and jumped in the water, like, in our underwear, like.
Oh, my God,
And then
yeah.
we just, like, had them in a bag. Or no, we had, like, found some baggie in the hotel, and we put our clothes back on, but because all of our underwear were wet, they were all stuffed in this one bag, plastic bag, that she was, like, toting around, going back to our hotel room with, like. That's how the night should end. Come on.
Yeah.
And the sun should be coming up, and you got to go to the where's open in the casino to go eat. We're starving. Like, that's how a bachelorette party should end.
Yeah, I mean, just she didn't really seem to be too into participating in it. And
I thought she got a good amount drunk.
really?
I was
Yeah.
surprised.
Oh, I'm talking about the mother. But you think Lauren or Caroline?
Lauren.
Okay,
Lauren.
yeah, Lauren, yeah.
Well, how hilarious when Chris was like, I guarantee they're not having fun, but they were cross-cutting back and forth. They were definitely having fun. How they're like, Caroline's probably like reading a book on her phone, and like, no, she was having a great
good time. Yeah. Yeah, drag queen bingo is just something I have not participated in.
I
can't
wouldn't
just
wanna-
imagine. That's just not my flavor.
Something I would try, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's not what I would want to do for like the last single girls' night out. It's like you just want to party.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, don't you want to kind of do a little big, like, rent, get like a...
I want to go to a fabulous dinner.
Yeah.
I want to
Bottle service,
Yes.
like,
dancing all night long at a club, like.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
I mean, I know in West Hollywood they have drag queen bingo, and that's like a Wednesday night, so it's kind of like, in the scheme of bachelorette parties.
It kind of seems like that's the night of the week they taped this thing. It was a little tame.
Yeah. And
At least Greg
tame
was
and a
there.
little lame.
I was glad Greg was there, that he flew across the country to come host it, but.
Yeah, I like that he's like, you can go the extra mile. Or me, we go across the country.
Yeah.
Like, I like that. Because, like, I kind of pull that when I go home, too. I'm like, I came across country for this. Let's go. Let's have a good time.
I think I drop that line every now and then, too, when I get home.
That's me. Yeah, that's just how I am. Let's talk about the boys' party back at the house.
Scottish night.
Yes. And it sounds like they had some really intense scotch.
Excuse me. They are such wusses. I can't even. Unless I could see these bottles of scotch close up, what I could see from what they were drinking didn't really seem like it was that big of a deal. First of all, you're not supposed to take shots of it. You sip it like a gentleman. Mm-hmm. The fact that Al, the father, who's a much older guy who should be able to sip this stuff like a gentleman, was choking and going, that was intense. Like, grow up. Drink something other than red wine, guys. Like, come on.
Yeah, no, I mean...
Look, scotch is definitely a grown man's drink, but if I can sip scotch, you guys can sip
figure
scotch.
it out. Yeah. Chris is coming in his uniform,
Oh
dressed
my
in
God.
a full skirt,
The bagpipes.
the bagpipes.
The best was that he couldn't even make the horn noise it's supposed to make. It was just that like farting noise over
the
and over.
worst.
And I was like, "Don't come down here if that noise is coming out of your behind."
You got it. I was just gonna say that. Yeah.
What was that? Oh my God.
I don't know. I don't really care for the sound of bagpipes, to be frank. So I'm glad that we weren't treated to a full, song.
Yes.
full chorus.
I thought it seemed like Vito actually really got drunk in this scene. That he was like enjoying the scotch.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, if you slam enough of it, I guess.
I mean, it doesn't take much usually.
Yeah. So I thought it was cute, except for the moment where he pulled up his skirt and flashed everybody. Who knows what was under there?
Well, it seemed like everyone was horrified except for his own dad, which his own father didn't look away and just kept laughing. I was like, what is really under there? Is he really just nude? What?
It must be in like tighty whities or something.
I don't know. I almost thought that was like a really genuine reaction from all of them, which is hard to get on this show.
Yeah, I agree. Sorry, I'm lost my notes.
Yeah, moving on.
I'm lost my notes. Yeah, sorry. They touched upon a moment where Caroline spoke with Albert and talked about how, has he had his moment yet? Has become emotional over the fact that his daughter is getting married? And we didn't really get an answer, but I think I think it's happened. Do you think it's happened yet?
Of course. He still pays her credit card bill. Like, he's close with his daughter.
Yeah, that still drives me crazy.
It's always going to be his little girl.
That credit card thing still drives me crazy, but I
agree.
Not a fan of that. But, to each their own, and that's his daughter. He can do whatever the hell he wants. So, the national party, she was dragged in her comforter to the staircase.
Where's my shoes?
Yeah, and Greg picked up, I don't know if he was just stuffing a bag full of stuff or if that was it had to be planned out, but.
They packed it the night before. Lauren packed it herself the night before. Come on.
I think there was hair hanging out of it or something, so they showed up.
The producers really love this stuff with the fake hair.
Yeah, they love that.
They love her throwing fake hair in a bag all the time and walking out.
So the Tropicana at Atlantic City was in full swing. I have never been.
We have to go. I don't get it. I love it, though. Every single time there's any show in New Jersey, we go to Atlantic City, and I love it.
Yeah, it's true. They always do.
I'm obsessed.
It's usually at the Borgata. That's where they have a lot of stuff.
This is where we were walking around the casino with our wet underwear in a bag. The Borgata and the Water Club. Let me tell you, folks. It's the only place to be.
That's where it's really happening, not at the Tropicana.
Yeah. They got... Oof. Anyway.
Now, Rosie joined this bachelor party, and I just thought she was out of place.
If they would have showed her a little more, I think it would have seemed a little more appropriate. Because she's like fun, young spirit, dirty mouth. She loves drinking with the guys. Yeah. And they just cut everything out of her. She was just sitting there with them in every scene.
Yeah. If
you're gonna have her there, you gotta show her personality.
Yeah, it just didn't translate, and it's strange because it seemed like that was and I don't not mean to be rude, but there was a lot of young folks that came out for that one. It was all young kids, and it seemed like we saw a few people that joined them on the casino floor that we weren't introduced to, and they were kind of in that age range. So it just seemed kind of a produced moment where they the drive by of the RHONJ cast is inserted. But I mean, I like Rosie. I just want to see her have a little bit more fun.
Me too. I love Rosie, so I want to see her in the show if she's going to be there.
Exactly. Let's do it. Chris made a deal. Well, actually, it was Albie that made the deal at the table that I believe if they win, that they have to go together to Colorado. Right?
Yeah, so I guess it was if Albie won that hand, Chris had to come to Colorado with him to do some cannabis business up there since it wasn't working out in New Jersey over the phone.
I mean, it'll be even better to have two of them versus just one story-wise, so, it all kind of makes sense.
Right. I thought it was good that he lost that bet.
Right. I really liked the moment where they had the toast and kind of that
sweet.
sibling relationship that they have. I have a younger sister, and we have a good bonds and a good relationship. So I can kind of I can't imagine, being at my sister's bachelorette party. I can't, she's only 2 years younger than me. It's very possible.
Yeah.
But it's just I can't, that's specific, emotion stuff you don't know until you're in the middle of it. Mm-hmm. So I love that they're close, and Caroline touched upon the relationship kind of over the years between Albie and Lauren. Mm-hmm. So that was a good moment. What you think?
I loved that moment. I thought it was so sweet. I loved Albie's speech, And I like that he mentioned that they're so close now that they're spending more time together because they're spending more time together, that they got closer. Which kind of, I know we were saying where we weren't even sure he was actually living there. But
speculation.
So I like that he dropped that in there, that now they've been living together, that they're getting closer. And then Chris's two toasts were hilarious. He did, the nice one, and then he did, if this were a real bachelor party.
And I like that he said, I hope that I meet a girl with tits as big as Vito's. Because Vito's a big guy. I mean, really. So it's like, it was kind of funny that they shouted it out. They just put it out there. So I read real quick that this book is that Chris's book is available for pre-order. There are some details on BravoTV.com, and it looks like that book is going to be available in the beginning of 2016. So you can check it out if you want. It could be good for your kids, or if you're a real super fan of the Manzo'd family, you might want to have that on your bookcase.
Absolutely.
So you can check that out on their website. Let's look forward and predict what's coming up next. I'm looking at Colorado.
Now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Ooh, these flashes are intense in this new studio. I feel like I'm clubbing. I love it.
I like it. Glam room. Let's talk about the predictions. So we're going to be in Colorado, and the two siblings are going to be there looking at this giant bag of pot. Huge. I never saw so much pot in a bag.
Neither.
And it looks like they're going to be in a little, brotherly bonding.
So I think next week will be mostly about going to Colorado and all the cannabis business. I think it's going to be nothing but hijinks with the two of them, and it's going to be a really entertaining episode. And I think they're going to touch on this surprise trip that's not a surprise to Italy that Caroline wants to take everyone on, but that they're not going to be going until the following episode.
I think you're right. Yeah, because we didn't see any real,
footage
shots, anything like that. Yeah, they're like, it's 10 days before the wedding. Well, we leave. It's like next weekend. Like, we keep hearing how the restaurant business is so intense and just so much to plan. Like, you're not fooling me. I don't know how you get away with saying like, I'm going to give a 5-day notice because next week I'm leaving the country.
Right.
So it's, but I'm honestly really looking forward to that trip because I love seeing Italy, and I think it'll be nice to get these people out there, the two families in one space, and I think it'll be make for some really nice episodes. So I'm looking forward to those. So
me too. I think it's gonna be straight comedy with the Scalias.
Yes. Oh yeah, I'm more with Denise. I want to see more
Denise
of her.
Denise is this real star here, okay?
Yeah, let's add her in a little bit more. I like it. Well, where can we keep the conversation going?
Yeah, guys, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. It's all at Megan Stecher, MEGANSTECHER.
And you can find me over on Twitter at Grants__Rants. And you can find the two of us together on my podcast, Grants Rants Hollywood Talk. It's the most recent episode up. We talk about a lot of good hot topics and fall TV, so check it out on iTunes. That'll do it for us. Manzo'd With Children.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.